to stand to fight for this marriage. I mean, to fight for it and to put it all out there. What is it about this marriage that's so special that you would fight this hard to save it?
Well, it's my soulmate. It's the person I love, you know. And you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and you're not. And if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're gonna have complications. Period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, you know, to break that cycle. For Black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
That's beautiful.
Like real people.
Yeah. What advice would you have for men who have caused pain in marriages? I mean, it's easy. I mean, somebody like you.
The best apology is change behavior, right? But change behavior, one. And then also you have to, you know, you have to acknowledge the pain. You have to let that person have their say. You have to get on the floor, get on the mattress, and you have to really work through it and really be honest. And no matter how many times, it takes a while. It's hard. It's very difficult. It's difficult to hear, difficult to say, it's difficult to, you know, to listen to that sort of pain. And you just have to be strong enough. You have to be strong enough to go through that, because on the other side is beautiful. You know, in our case,
that's a level of strength really on both sides. I mean, if the shoe had been on the other foot, you know, if the transgressions had been on her side, do you think you would be able to be as forgiving of her as she was of you?
I hope. Again, because I love her the same way. No matter what side, I love her the same way. I pray that I will, because her strength and her, you know, man, is the strongest woman I know. Like, you know, her and my mother, they battled if we won.
Well. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening.
We are here. It's Thursday night.
Yes.
And you have just witnessed an interview of Mr. J. the Z. Now, you all know we've been talking these last couple of days about what else but cheating and infidelity. And I want you all to know that there is a way out of this. There is some things that we do on the backside that can get you out of where you have found yourself. We want you to know that there is indeed hope for your relationship, and that's if you want it. All right. Hey, Chikora, thank you for joining us tonight. So for those of you that don't know, I'm Pastor Michelle. And this is my sweet husband, Pastor G. We are spiritual relationship counselors. We're veterans of the United States Air Force, your go-to couple
for all things relationships.
Miss Denise is in the building. How are you, ladies? Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you all for being with us as we continue the Cheating Chronicles.
Yes. Last night we talked about the 3 C's of cheating, and we've been having a really good conversation. I'm loving how, and for most of you, you probably know that that's not my most favorite person in the world.
Yeah.
I think he still needs Yeshua. I think he still needs to come to Jesus meeting. But even through all of that, there was some very poignant things that he said. He's a brilliant person. All right. So let's not get that twisted. The man has got brains. His intellect is on fire. His money-making capabilities is on point.
Yeah.
And he's still a human being.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's at the end of the interview, Van kind of got on the Mutual Admiration Society. He said, I really admire you. I mean, and that's good. I'm not taking that away from him. He's worthy of admiration. But in an interview, I think sometimes you have to ask some tough questions. Yes. And I love the question that he did ask. And that was to me, that was the toughest part of it. To ask if the shoe had been on the other foot. And I don't know, as a man, we think differently if it's really happened. you know.
Listen.
And then he did say, I hope that I
He
would
didn't
have
even,
the strength.
isn't that something that he even through all of that, what he has gone through, what he and her has sat down and talked with, everything, that he hopes that he would be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's done it. They're still together. And hey, PRAK Hars and Amy O2, thank you for joining.
Bless you.
So we know that they're still together, and we know that there was some intestinal fortitude, right? When she was able to forgive him. Now she busted him out. She gave you all the tea, well,
she
all the lemonade.
That's right.
She gave you all the lemonade.
Yeah.
And we have even now this infamous, poor people that was named Becky. If your name was Rebecca, we're so sorry. But if you're Rebecca and your hair is nice, listen, it is what it is. Sometimes we just have to roll with the punches.
Yeah, you're kind of getting the
short end of the stick
from all of the cheaters. They kind of put that on you. We know it's not all you.
Exactly, but we get it, right? And so when I think about it, and whenever we see in couples that there is infidelity, if it is the man, it's like he's consistently wanting to make sure that he can get back in, and and she know I love her, and all of these other changes. But if it's the woman, he is a hard nut to crack.
Yeah.
If you can ever even it's like it reminds me of In the Wild. Like a lion, if there's a pride of lions and there is an outside male lion that comes along, and that outside male lion, he has to fight with the patriarch lion, right? And if he wins, he kills off all the babies. Mm-hmm. Did you all realize that all the cubs?
That's right.
It's simply to
the males in particular.
Yes, to display his dominance. Mm-hmm. And so there's when I tell y'all that there is a super ego that God put inside of men, I think it's the testosterone. I really think so. I think testosterone is the problem for a lot of issues.
What else? What else would there be? I mean, you walk around and you smell. Oh, you're not. You're wearing perfume, so you're not a male. He smell of testosterone. Okay. Yeah, you're a rival in the future, so let me go ahead and snap you out now.
If the shoe was on the other foot, it would have killed him. It's and I feel like there's that for a lot of men. Yeah. It's almost like someone has encroached on their possession, and I don't know, but isn't the salad the same sort of possessional thing as the cookies? I'm just asking the question.
What do y'all think? What do you think?
Tell us something good. So listen, guys, come on in here and invite somebody. Share this broadcast. We're going to talk about some of this tonight. The 4 consequences when we're talking about cheating, when we're talking about how people are getting along and dealing with infidelity in a relationship. Does it have to end? Is a cheater once a cheater, always a cheater? We've answered some of these questions the last couple of nights, and we want you to know that if you are dealing with some of these issues, that we are absolutely here for you. We want you to know that you can go over to marriagemakes3.com, and there you will be able to get a free, did I say free? Yes, a free encounter session with Pastor G and Pastor myself. How you like that? Pastor G and Pastor myself at #GD and me, right? And we want you to know that it's available to you because of the fact that so many of us are dealing with issues. And what happens is we allow the issue to overtake us. It crushes us, y'all. And there is a better way to go about some of these things, okay? But we have to stand still long enough, get it and take ownership. Remember what he said?
Yeah. And that was another key thing that I love that he said, that it takes putting in the work. It's hard to listen to. It's hard to hear. She's got some things that she gonna need to say. And it may be more than one time. So it is evident from his interview that he actually felt the thing. He actually experienced it and went through the process. A lot of times when it comes to going through the process, a guy gets really to feeling himself. Pride gets in the way. It's true of men and women,
true.
but more
So,
men. If it's her that's if it's me that's cheating, remember we said last night that often we want to make the other person responsible.
yeah.
You want to give them 4 reasons why it's your fault.
Oh my God.
You wouldn't be here. You embarrassed me. You put me through all this. You know.
It's true. It's true. But listen, there is a way out of this.
Come on.
Listen, if you really, really want the relationship, and listen, it's not only your decision. Okay, so let's just keep that funky as well. Some of you have been the perpetrator of the cheating, of the infidelity, and you want to go back home. You want to get things back in order. But listen, you have to remember, you took the other person out of the equation when it came to the choices, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now the consequences are not only yours, okay? You have to know that the same way you took them out of the choice place, that they have now possibly taken you out of the place where you can make that choice. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and I love to one more thing about Jay-Z, and we're getting ready to move to our content. Thank you for the one. That is, Jay-Z said that for us men, again, it's hard to listen to it, and you got to get on the floor. And we're always telling you here that as guys, sometimes in a relationship, you need to be there anyway.
Yeah.
You need to be on the floor as an example to your spouse. You need to be in a place of serving.
Oh, yes.
He said the floor, you got to get on the mattress or whatever it takes. So, you know, you know from that she is no pushover.
Absolutely
she
not.
isn't going to play. You know, you got a prize.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to play with you.
And you better walk circumspectly. You better walk like you got some sense, sir.
Checking every time you come out. I want to know where you're at.
Where you at, what you've been doing, who you've been with, what they were talking about. And listen, sometimes one thing that we found that with a couple, especially that has dealt with infidelity, the one person feels like it's too much. And when Jay-Z said you've got to, how do you fix this? You've got to change your behaviors. Right? One thing that you've got to know is that whatever that other person wants you to do, it might seem unreasonable to you, right?
You better do it.
But do you want to be right?
Or do you want to be married?
Bloop. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Deirdre, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey, darling. Kim said it's a double standard, and you know you're absolutely correct. But you know, it is what it is. We just have to acknowledge that and realize that we are going to be doing some things differently in our own personal relationships, so we don't have to go through this, because this is hurtful stuff, y'all.
Yeah, and it look, it was easier for you to cheat, and you got to know that it's hard getting back in.
Okay. Hello.
You know, if it was easy, you'd still be cheating, right? So it's going to be hard to get back in. And you're going to either man up, swallow your pride, get your britches up where they need to be, make sure that you're working and you coming right home and you're doing the things that are necessary to make your relationship work.
Amen.
And if you're not doing that, just quit playing games. They don't make no sense. There are consequences. They're serious. And it's far more serious than hurting your pride.
Yeah, it's true.
It's far more serious.
Yes.
You're having an impact on your children. Far more than you know. Gentlemen, there comes a time when you got to man up.
That part.
You know, you got to stop being a child. Paul said, when I was a child, I played, I understood as a child. Yes. But now that I'm a man, I put away childish things.
Yes, Lord.
Step it up. Hola, ¿cómo está?
One of our spiritual daughters from the past, she would say it like this: you better get right, are you gonna get left? All right. Kim says if a woman do what a man does, she would be everything but a child of God. You know that's the truth. But he gets a pat on the back and notches in his belt. And it's true. We've seen this over and over. It's as though for men that the conquest is encouraged. Even from young on, you know, oh, they're just sowing their wild oats. They got married too young. And so that's what happened. Listen, nobody makes us. Like we said the other night, you don't just walk along and fall into someone's genitals. That's not the way that any of this works. Hola, ¿cómo está? Marta Soda is with us tonight.
Marta,
and Kim says, I know him, and he was always a hoe.
Wow, he's from there. So
Jay-Z was from Philly.
See, a lot of this stuff has to do with your company.
Yes, it does. It really
does.
Does.
If you're hanging out with Bobby Brown and was Ralph, and you know, that was the thing. I mean, you know, back then. But when I become a man, I put away childish things. He didn't understand.
Yeah.
Up to the cheating point.
Right. That
being a man and being married to Beyonce required something different.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And he's right, is that we have to break those cycles.
Yes.
We have not been taught some things. Some things we've learned. We've seen good examples.
Yes, and we've seen
a whole lot of horrible warnings.
More than we want.
But we've got to break
the cycle. And it's true. Jay-Z is from Brooklyn, Marcy Project. Come on.
Wow.
Kim said he wasn't even claiming his older children. He only claims the kids with her. Oh, Lord. Why do you know all the tea? She knows all the tea.
She needs a column.
Yes, you should be doing your own little broadcast where you start telling us about, well, you know all about this. I thought he grew up in Brooklyn. Oh, well, yes, he did grow up in Brooklyn. She's in Jersey. Lynn, hey Lynn, she said y'all naming names. Yes, ma'am. He's good for that though. You, baby.
I'm just saying.
One time.
Now, some things, if you are in a circle,
if
the brothers are in your circle, say, man, you ought to hit that.
Okay.
You know, man, she digging on you. You need to hit that. You know, they're talking and stuff and they're pushing you up to do this kind of mess.
Yep.
But when you become a man, when you are married,
yes,
you have no business hanging out with the boys.
Yeah.
It's time to leave the club. It's time to leave the street.
Okay.
You know, that whole life needs to be behind you. You are a parent.
Especially
you got
that part.
a blue ivy at home.
That's
Good
right.
Lord.
Yes,
and
Lord.
twins.
Yes,
right?
yes, and twins. So here's the thing. I see a fight. Marta says that now that lies from the book of lies. Hey, God bless you, Brother Robert. Thank you for joining us tonight. So he was brought up in Brooklyn, right? Somebody says Trenton, New Jersey. Somebody says Brooklyn. I'm not a foremost authority on Mr. Z. So
never heard of him until he got with the boys.
Right. His grandmother lived in Marcy Projects. Everything I say about him is facts. He went to my high school. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we ain't talking about who grew up where tonight. Tonight we're talking about the 4 consequences of cheating. We just happened to use Mr. Z, giving the lemonade about with him and Beyonce. Hey, Brittany, thank you for joining us tonight. So listen, guys, go ahead and share this, invite somebody, and let's talk tonight. If you didn't know, I'm Pastor Michelle. This is Pastor G. We are spiritual relationship counselors. We want you to know that if you are dealing with any of these issues, whether it's infidelity, pre-marriage, post-marriage, we want you to know that you can that part. Go ahead on and find us at bit.ly/MM3LINKS, and there you'll be able to get a free encounter session with us. We'll sit down with you, talk, discuss some things, and possibly able to give you some direction, because sometimes what it is we just don't have direction.
Yeah.
You're laughing so hard right now.
and that's the key. We lack the direction.
Yes.
But we live in an information age. And one of the things that we have so many resources.
True.
You know, and when you have the resources and you're still not using them, you know, you got somebody trying to help you. and you unwilling to move forward. Do you want to be forever in that cycle?
Okay.
Of a cheater? Do you want to be a chronic
cheater?
Yeah.
Habitual
serial
cheater.
Serial cheater.
And we ain't talking about Captain Crunch already.
No.
It is what it is.
We're not talking about eating cereal and playing video games.
We just need you to know that whenever we're talking about infidelity, Madam Fifi Beauty, thank you for joining. When we're talking about infidelity, that there is absolutely going to be some what we call collateral damage. Do y'all know what that is? Now, being a veteran, we already know that there may be a target, right? But the target sometimes may get the bomb. You know, we were Air Force, so we went in from the sky. And so there's a target. You go directly above the target and you drop the bomb, right? And the bomb is it's supposed to go to this one thing, and it hits it, right? It'll hit it, but guess what? Anything within close perimeter of that,
there's shrapnel.
It's collateral damage. There may be a building, it may be people, it could be livestock, whatever it might possibly be surrounding the target ends up getting hurt as well. And so we have to remember that when we're dealing with infidelity, it's not just me and my spouse, right? It's me, my spouse, the third person involved. Sometimes you know that people will go out and commit infidelity for revenge.
Yeah.
So you decided you wanted to do what? Okay, well, we both can play that. We both can play that game.
You got extended family members because now grandmother and great grandmother are raising children that you're supposed to be taking care of.
Hello.
Spouse or husband has an extra job to take up the responsibility that you are supposed to have.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying this again to be harsh. We want you to know that there's some tough love.
Exactly.
And you can get past it.
Yes,
but you have to be willing. If you be willing and obedient,
you can eat the good of the land.
Come on.
That's the whole word right there.
You can go back home.
Yes.
And have Cheerios with your spouse and make her breakfast and
get
foot rubs.
But listen, don't think that this is, I know we're talking about this, and you know, all of the couples that we have counseled with, they're still together, right? Now, as long as you're going to do the work, you're going to be able to get the results. When there's a breakdown in the work ethic in the relationship, first of all, before the infidelity, that becomes a part of the problem, that we're not dealing with the things that we need to. We're not taking care of home. And so if you feel like you got married 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and so now everything is just cool, baby, everything's scotch, I need you to understand that men and women have different seasons in their life.
Come on.
Okay? When you're young and dumb,
full of stupid.
Right? And you're together with somebody during those times, you feel a little bit some kind of way. You want the romance, you want the rush and tumble, you want the quickies here and quickies there. You're okay with quantity because you're young and dumb and full of it. Okay. And so that's how that will roll. But listen, when you get to that place where you're in the middle age, where this is a different season, your children are possibly just getting ready to go to school, different things, there are different parts of your life, different seasons in a man and a woman. And so after all your kids, they call it the empty nest syndrome. Your children are grown. Your children are leaving the house. First, you're a little sad by it. First, you're a little depressed. But then all of a sudden, this brand new breath of fresh air enters the atmosphere. And you're like, I don't have to take care of nobody. I ain't got to fuss at nobody. I don't got to get no dishes. I ain't got to tell nobody clean. I ain't got to listen. You ain't got to pay nobody else's insurance. You ain't got to take nobody else to the doctor. You have all of these benefits, and you realize, listen, I'm free. We are free. And then infidelity strikes, and then impotence strikes, and then parents that need care strikes. It's the full of stupid for me. Thank you, Marta, for dropping the link there in the chat. We
Yeah.
appreciate you, lady.
And look,
Right?
you need to get, if you're here and you have not got Dateology, if you're single, okay?
You need to get that.
You need to get
It's free. Go on over
Yep.
to bit.ly/MM3 links. It's free. Download it. You'll get it in your email. You'll be able to watch it and take notes and all of those things. I promise you, it's going to help you.
And it may be that the person who really needs it that is not in here. You need to invite them. And if they don't show up, share it with them. Slip it under their, slip it under their email.
DM. What you gonna just throw it?
Slip it in the DM so they'll know. We want you to have these resources.
Yes.
We put a lot of prayer, a lot of effort, and a lot of energy into
definitely.
preparing these things for you. All right.
Amen.
So we're moving
said,
to
get
our
your
content here in
groove
just
back.
a moment.
When you're talking about being an empty nester, you get your groove back. You're kind of like, we don't have to be locked up in the bedroom anymore. We can be in the kitchen or on the counter or
go somewhere. They're gonna bring some kids over.
You are a man.
No, I
Listen,
love my grandkids now.
You can be on the couch. You can be in the den. You can be in the study. You anywhere. Do you have Dateology, the marriage edition? Denise, I love that. I love it. I love it.
Like
Not slipping the DMs. Listen, some folk, I got some guy. I'll tell y'all about that another day. I had to post it first, then my husband go for us. But it's all good. So listen, we may be in different we're in different seasons of our lives at different ages, right, in our relationships. And so we have to know that we have to work on it all the time, because no matter what goes in and out, whatever the ebbs and flows, there should be some constant in your relationship. When you've lost that loving feeling, when you sitting out here feeling empty and lonely, even though you're married to a whole entire person, some of you, what you all have done is you have put so much energy into your children that you have forgot to nurture your marriage.
Wow.
These kids grow up. Let me tell you something. Children, we love them, but they ain't loyal. Okay? They will leave you. All right. I mean, there's a couple of them that, you trying to get out and they still won't leave. But for the most part, there's going to be somebody that is going to pique their interest, some job or career that's going to take them where their destiny is going to take them. And so you have to know that this here is still solid. Okay, because if the only reason that y'all are together are children, then guess what? Once the children are grown or gone, now the relationship is going to suffer. All right.
And your health, your mental health, your physical health are going to be consequences of that. And that's what we're talking about tonight. Consequences of cheating.
Yes.
Know that there are more.
True that.
But we're going to talk about four that are very prevalent.
Absolutely.
All right. Marta says,
number one,
sharing is caring. If you've not shared this,
she said,
you
just sitting there learning a whole lot. The least
you
can do is tell someone to come on in, right? Thank you. For those
Thank you, guys.
There are some of you all that you have ever since the beginning. Once we come on, you automatically share it.
You've been riding with us.
Yes, for a long time. We appreciate those of you that would share. Share it to your own page. Do a watch party.
Yeah.
Those things absolutely help us. I was saying about a month or so ago, one of our Love Seat members dropped something in the Love Seat, and I'm looking at it. I'm looking at how many views is on this particular thing.
Wow.
And it was about some man talking bad about a woman, and they call in and ask him questions. I'm like, he's going to abuse you. I don't know who dropped him on his head or who hurt him, right? But they're willing to share that with no problem. They share it everywhere. Thousands of views. He said to that woman that she ain't never gonna get a man the way that she wants one, because first of all, look at your hair. He said, it was like, whoa, wait a minute. So you're calling in to be abused. That's dysfunction, number one. And number two, if you can share that, you can share something that's gonna edify someone and help them along. Okay. Thank you so much for those of you that always share. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Number one, and I saw Kimmy, I believe it was, that put the one in the chat a while ago.
Yes,
We
she
started
did.
talking.
Thank you,
So you
Kim.
guys give me the number 2 so that when we get to it, that we don't have to stop and go from there. Number 1, when we're dealing with the consequences of cheating, right? Here's number 1. Honey?
Hank Williams Sr., and I'm not going to sing it. He said, when tears come down like falling rain, you'll toss around and call my name. Listen to this. You'll walk the floor the way I do. Your cheating heart will tell on you. So the very first thing that we see is that there's going to be some tears, some crying,
and depression,
and sometimes a place of depression as a result of cheating. Now, although we're going to ascribe that to the person that's being cheated on, is that there's crying and depression. But did you know that sometimes the person who's doing the cheating,
they're conflicted,
is really doing some crying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the person that is the cheater is the one that is feeling the abuse, feeling the loneliness, feeling the emptiness. And so
ghost of something past.
Yes. You know, we used to have a really great relationship. We were together all the time. We enjoyed the same things. And then as we got older, or as you started doing more of this or that, now the relationship isn't the same. And so that's why I'm telling you guys, when we talk about sometimes that there is a perfect storm, right? We look at cheaters as though they are inhuman. But what did Jay-Z say? He said people are talking about, oh, that they famous and rich, and so they shouldn't have any problems. He said, well, we're human beings.
Yeah.
Right.
And you came from some sort of background where you experienced some hurt.
Exactly.
You experienced some breakups. You dealt with this stuff early on. Yeah. And it doesn't make you whole because you moved from the Cleveland projects. Excuse me, Cleveland. Shout out to my family in Cleveland, or the projects in Jersey, or anywhere else in the world, and you moved over to the other side of town. Right. You're in Hollywood.
Yeah. You got money now.
Yeah.
Money doesn't do anything for you other than amplify who you already were.
That's right.
Did you know that? That money amplifies who you are. If you were a cheap person, you might get some money and you're still going to be cheap, and you're going to be even cheaper because now you're not going to want to help nobody with nothing. Yeah. I got to hold on to it. I got to keep my money. If you were a liar, money's going to amplify it. If you were a lover, money will amplify it. If you were a giver, money is going to amplify it. If you are one of those that are stingyboots.com, oh, better believe it, money is going to amplify. If you can't give in your own church $10 out of 100, you're not going to give 1,000 out of 10,000. Period. Right?
Wow.
It is what it is. And so whatever is in you is going to amplify.
Wow.
So he let us know that even though they've got money and they have fame, that they're still human beings, and they're still subject to the very things, the emotions, the pains, the issues of human beings.
King David, from a shepherd boy to king of Israel, united all of the
kingdoms. Yes.
You know, he is the head. HNIC. He's the king.
Yes.
Okay. But there was still that within him that drew him away from his many wives.
Yes.
To Bathsheba.
He's the HKIC.
So you're still going, come on, I like that one. That's good. That's good.
He was the head king in charge, the HKIC. Yes, he was. And still had to deal with this. It doesn't matter your position. You're sharing a good word on tonight. Thank you, Brother Robert. It doesn't matter the position, the money, the status, what's part of the tracks that you come from.
Come on.
He said that there were some behaviors modeled in his home that were not modeled, in his home. And so he did not know how to carry on the share.
I said this the other Sunday.
What's that, babe?
The positive male example.
Oh yeah.
You know, now moms have did a wonderful job raising sons and daughters.
True.
You know, many
they never
have that. That's all they had.
Right.
That's all they had.
That's right.
They didn't have any choice but to do that right? But there's a place where the male parent provides an example
Absolutely.
of how to conduct themselves. That's how little lions learn to rule.
Okay.
Is that they watch the king.
Come on,
They
Simba.
watch him operate, and that's how they know how to operate. That's how they know how to be, how to do their thing.
That's right. That's right.
And it's
Even
ingrained.
Yeah.
And so we have to do a better job of making sure that even though I've got hurt, even though I've dealt with some insecurity, I need to draw to someone who can help bring out the best in me.
Come on. I
And
like
if I'm
that.
hanging around with you and you're bringing in strays for me, then you're not a member of my team. You do not value my marriage. You do not honor my wife. You're bringing in someone, hey, man, I want you to meet such and such. Maybe let her sing a little bit for you. And she ain't there to sing. I'm talking in the Jay-Z circle.
Come on.
We have to do a better job, gentlemen.
Yes.
Of helping to raise our children.
Yes, that's exactly right. Amen. Amen. Brother Robert says,
Thank
amen.
You,
that's 100%. Absolutely. We're dealing with crying and depression, consequences. There are the effects, sleepless nights. Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry and try to sleep. But sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So here, now it's moved over to the victim. I mean, to the perpetrator.
Yeah.
Okay. A person who is a cheater. Now there are some don't seem to have a conscience.
Well,
they'll cheat and fall right to sleep. Get up from this bed, go to sleep, and go right home and go to sleep. There's no sense of. Then again, sometimes people sleep a lot because of the conscience.
Yeah.
To get rid of it.
Not to have to deal with it.
Right.
Well, she might sing at that moment. I'm not going to play with y'all in here tonight. Okay. Listen, and are you done? Are we going to say something else?
So there are some sleepless nights.
Yeah.
And you know that when you are not sleeping, there's going to be consequences on your mental health, as well as on you physically. When you are not resting properly,
it affects you.
It really
does.
You're not going to be effective at work.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Or anywhere else.
It's the truth.
Okay. And I've known people who were cheaters who seem to sleep very well.
Yeah.
They seem to sleep very well. But nightmares, and they wake up looking like, oh.
Because you're always concerned about getting caught or something. Like, oh my God, what was that? Who was that on the phone? Who was at the door? Because there's always the possibility. And some of us, what we end up doing is getting involved with crazy people.
Wow.
Crazy people that's going to call your husband's phone, call your wife's phone. Some crazy people going to try to come over to your house knowing that your spouse is supposed to be at work, and they knocking on the door. And when you open the door, you're like, oh my God, what are you doing here? Y'all see? You don't know, most of the time you don't know they're crazy until it produces itself.
And we said last night that sometimes a person who is cheating, they will subconsciously and sometimes even consciously get where they don't care. They get careless.
It's true.
And you're not supposed to have my address. You start leaving stuff. You start leaving your phone open. They know more about you than you ever expected them to know or wanted them to know.
It's the truth. Thank you so much for putting the twos. Y'all put some more twos in there, chat, and let me address something here.
Okay.
Kim says that a woman can't raise a man. She can raise a boy for a time. I don't really agree with that statement. I know that there are some people that do, but I need you to understand that when you have the right mentors in your life, when you have other family members, you can get some help. If a woman has no choice, what happens if that man, that husband, that father dies? So does that young man no longer become a man at the end?
He's incarcerated or unable to
right. And so there are many women that have had to raised good men. Productive men have raised men that were very good pillars in society. We just have to know where we stand. We have to know how to do things and know how to ask for help when we need the help. All right.
Absolutely. And sometimes that's one of the best things that we can do as a man or a woman is that if I can't help my child, get somebody who can help.
Yes.
Them. And it may be a mechanical issue that I know nothing about. And I can encourage my son, I can give him money, help him, or my daughter. But if I know a mechanic who happens to have those skills.
Come on, babe. Yeah.
So if you can get them into place, here's a good, powerful example.
Okay.
Pastor Twyman, you might like this one. I know you're going to like this one. Here is Hannah, who was unable to conceive. Hannah was barren, and she went to the house of God in Shiloh, got there, and the man of God spoke over her life, said, be it as even according to your desire. The next time she came to the temple, she had a young baby with her, okay? Yeah. Actually, she didn't come until she weaned him. But when she returned, she presented him to Eli, the priest. I'm putting him in the hands of someone. If I can't do it, you know, and granted he had a father, but she had made a promise, she had made a vow. Right. And said, I'm putting him in the hands of somebody who can do somebody who can help bring out his destiny. Yes. Somebody who can help him develop his purpose. Pull him into who he needs because to be. He has a greater purpose. That's right. My God. Amen. He has a greater purpose.
Amen. Than just being my son. And that's a great position to have. But, you know, God has another purpose for us. That's right. And so with his purpose is perfect. And we'll be able to move into what he has for us. Kim says facts, but I'm just saying you can't have every man you're dating should meet your children. Yeah. And you are absolutely correct, ma'am.
And some will meet somebody for a week and have the kids calling him dad.
I agree. There's been too many uncles coming through the house. We can't. My kids didn't know nothing about Gregory Dale until I got a ring. Actually, it was right before I got the ring because he technically asked not only my permission to marry me, but he also asked each of my children. Okay. And then it wasn't until after that I received the ring. So the ring was already on the way before they even knew that he and I were friends like that. Okay. So thank you so much, Brother Robert. He says right on point. So that was number 2. First one, where are my notes, y'all?
Yeah, that was okay. You got something else then?
No. We were talking sleepless nights, right?
Right here.
Crying and depression. Number 2 was sleepless nights, and now we're on number 3.
Number three. The time will come when you'll be blue, right? Your cheating heart will tell on you. You'll walk the floor the way I do. Your cheating heart will tell on you. And so we see that from the initial euphoria that we had as a cheater, you start to have some mental
issues that you have to deal with.
Consequences, right?
Because a person, if you know that you are doing something underhanded, it's a nature in us. We have not only a regular conscience, but we have a God conscience. Okay, there's a God consciousness in every person. Now, it has not awakened fully in everybody.
But we still have a conscience.
Yes.
And we know when we have
messed up. Because not only do we inwardly know, but society lets us know what things are acceptable and unacceptable. We know that you go into a store, you don't pick up folks' stuff and leave out the store with it because they call that shoplifting. We know that you're not supposed to grab a gun and just shoot somebody for no reason. If there's been an altercation and you feel your life is threatened, that's a whole nother story. But if you're just out here doing, devilment, then you know that ain't right. You already know. You already know that you wasn't supposed to have them cookies, right? And so when you put your hand in the jar and you pull one out, and then your mama said to you, who ate the cookies? And you saying, oh, it wasn't me. What you mean? Come on, Shaggy. Why you got all them crumbs all around your lips, sir or ma'am? You already know there's some things that we shy away from because we know that they are right or they are wrong, period. And so if you are one of those that's out here, you're not a serial cheater, you're going to go out and you may have some infidelity, but in some part of your mind, some place in you, unless you have been seared, unless the relationship that you are in together is completely over, because there's some folks that still married, been married 30, 40 years, and they don't even stay in the same bedroom. And so unless there is some issue that lets you know that, okay, they're not really together like that anyway, we already know that there's going to be some thought processes that go through us.
Some years ago, you used the term seared. When I was in service, I remember going for a higher security clearance. And prior to this clearance, I was either cooking or ironing.
Okay.
And I had grabbed the iron. Come to think of it, it was cooking. And I had grabbed something that was super hot. And I had a couple of fingers where they were seared.
Ugh.
They were seared. And the prints were, you
can feel
it was just
smooth.
not evident. So I went in to do fingerprints for the clearance, and I end up having to go back once my finger healed
regenerated.
up. Okay?
Yep.
Because our bodies are forgiving.
Yes.
But we can have a
searing. Yes.
We can get a searing
where
true. We don't feel things as deeply as we should, where we know that things are wrong, but I'm still walking around blissfully
ignorant.
Stupid.
Because we become desensitized to some things. Hey, Maya, we become desensitized. Wow. And whenever you're seared in your mind, like the scripture says, you become desensitized to things. And as with a hot iron, it's like some things that should bother you doesn't bother you anymore.
Wow.
It's like for people, let's think about it like this. If you are a surgeon, now the first time you saw inside of a person, and you saw the tissue, you saw the blood and all of that, and your stomach said, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the thing is that you're going to practice medicine. And so the more that you practice, the less sensitive you're going to be to seeing blood and tissue. Now, if I walked in the room, I'm like, oh, what in the world? No, I don't need to see this. If you're a police officer or in law enforcement and you go somewhere and you are first time seeing exposed to gunshot wounds and dead, bodies, flesh, all of that kind of stuff, the first couple of times you're going to be like, oh my God. I mean, if there's, because unless you one of them, because some folks is kind of morbid, y'all was killing stuff when y'all was little and didn't realize it. I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about people that are rookies that have gone out and they're seeing, brain matter across the ground. And so for them, it's going to be disconcerting. But after you, especially if you live in an area, inner city, ghetto areas where these things happen all the time, where there's gangs and things of that nature, then you're going to become a little desensitized to seeing it. Now it doesn't affect you as much. Now you're not going home with the headache. You're not going home with the nightmares. You're not going home with seeing this stuff in your head over and over again.
It's no longer bothering you.
It isn't traumatic anymore. To some degree, you may still have a little bit here and there, like nobody wants to see that, but it becomes a little bit easier. It becomes easier to stomach. If you're going to cheat and you keep doing it and there's never a consequence, what happens is you start to become almost empowered.
Wow.
Because you're desensitized.
I'm good at this. You begin to think that your stuff don't mess.
It don't stink. Your boo-boo stink, boo-boo. It stinks. Yes, it does.
Y'all
it
still
stinks.
there?
All right. So here we go.
Amen. Somebody.
One who consistently cheats, I love how you said that, may endure guilt, self-loathing, self-hate, and other things. And so you have to know that there is definitely a burden that comes along with being outside the bonds of the covenant that you have made with someone.
Say it one more time, honey.
What's that?
Guilt. Read that again.
One who consistently cheats may endure guilt, self-loathing, and self-hate, and other issues.
Yeah. Wow. That's really strong.
You wrote it. You forgot.
Conscious, ignoring matters of conscience.
Yeah.
Can have such a tremendous effect on our mental health.
It does.
And
it
we
really does.
And that's why it is important that we be quick to repent.
Oh, come on.
When we do something, when we know that we do something that grieves the heart of God and the heart of those that we love, we need to be quick to.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I understand why the host said that he admired Jay-Z for that. For being able to divulge that, because most of us as men, our pride will get in the way of us saying, look, I made a mistake. I messed up. I had a, what was it? I had an indiscretion. I had an entanglement. It was complicated. Quit lying and just say I cheated.
I didn't have no business doing it.
I went to bed and I didn't go to sleep. And I went to bed with somebody that I wasn't married to, and it wasn't you. And I
don't care how long ago it was, and it was over with. So what we say last night, some people, they feel like, well, it was 4 years ago, 5 years, but I just found out. And so to me, it could have been last night, because this not only now do I have to deal with the fact that you did it, now I have to deal with the fact that you've been lying to me
this whole
for 4 years, for 5 years, for 10 years.
Well, I've been trying to work it out. And while you were working it out, and you didn't work it out because you didn't include her.
Yeah.
So you're reliving it now because it's new to her. And you may be reliving it on the floor or outside. It's new.
It's new information. Heresy, heresy is? It's a foreign thought. Some people think heresy is like, oh my God, you're going against God. No, heresy is a foreign thought. Whenever a new thought is introduced to us, it's almost heresy, because we're kind of like trying to work it out. Wait a minute. Could that, whoa, right? And so when we come to find out that someone has done something that should have involved us, but didn't, or involved someone outside of our circle, what happens is that we're trying to, what? Huh? How could, but now I got all these questions. Now I'm thinking, well, where were we? Where were y'all? What was happening with us? Did we have an issue? What made you decide? How? And guys, y'all are something serious. Lord have mercy.
Drop the fours in the chat, please, honey. Go ahead.
Guys, you forget stuff that happened last week. You guys.
When was last week?
And I'm not trying to be shady. I'm just saying, just in general, once you all have dealt with something, right? Y'all are very left brain thinkers. You've dealt with it, you're done with it. You dealt with it, you're done with it. And that's, for the most part, a lot of men are that way. Now, I'm not saying just that's powerful, the erosion of our moral fiber. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You dealt with it, you're done with it. But the problem is that you may have dealt with it, but it's not done. Y'all get that?
Yeah. And I would offer to you, thank you for those fours. As you say that, something becomes really clear to me. In today's paper here in Starkville, there was a young lady who is from Chicago area. She's from Chicago, but has, I guess, family in Starkville, or lived here at some point. But she's in a relationship in Chicago. And
wow.
In Chicago, they had a arrest warrant out for her. And they picked her up today here or a few days ago here in Starkville. And what happened? The young man went to sleep. And she poured boiling water on him. To the extent that it required several skin grafts.
Yes.
Okay. What happened? He went to sleep.
He went
and forgot that there's stuff that needs to be done. Something happened that was brand new to her.
Yep.
That he was past it enough that he was able to go to sleep. but she couldn't sleep.
She couldn't sleep.
What did he say? He said, the time will come when you'll be blue. You'll walk the floor the way I do. Your cheating heart will tell on you. So it's brand new.
Yeah.
It's new enough. It's not dealt with enough in her mind.
That's right.
That she says, don't go to sleep.
Okay. You want to go to sleep sometime.
It's hard. Don't do that. Don't do that.
We know it, but it's
Call
true.
us.
This is how you end up on Snapped and investigate discovery. Because instead of dealing with it until it's done, y'all deal with it and think it's done.
Yeah. Oh,
okay?
Baby. Say that again.
Instead of dealing with it when
until
it's done, you all deal with it and think it's done.
Wow.
Right?
That's a good tweet.
She said Al Green. That. He said, excuse me, Al Green all over again. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And here's the thing. When we don't deal with issues, it will deal with us.
Absolutely.
That's not the first young man from Starkville.
Yeah.
Okay. And when we talk about 6 degrees of separation, we know people personally that did the same stuff.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so it doesn't matter, again, what side of the tracks you come from, how much or how little money you have. If you got a lot of money, you might be able to pay somebody else to go and do that for you. But, either way, it's still getting done.
That's right.
And so we have to be careful.
If it's 800 degrees, it doesn't matter if it's water or grits.
Right.
It's going to have the same effect. So, all right. Sorry, guys. I had to provide a little comedy relief there. Okay. All right. We know this is serious stuff. And if you're enduring cheating, we do want you to know, whatever you're enduring, maybe you're the cheater, we offer a free 15-minute encounter session where we can talk with you about your most pressing concern. And it may be that during that time, we can offer to some solutions to you, a solution. You may come up with your own solution as you talk it out with somebody.
Yeah.
There are some people who just need somebody
outside of their circle.
Outside of somebody who doesn't know me.
Yeah.
Somebody who doesn't know her.
That's right.
Somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight who can help me to work my way through this.
Amen.
And we want you to know that's why we do what we do.
Amen.
You can get a lot of free information here. You can get a whole lot more talking with us one-on-one.
Yes.
It may be that your pastor, sometimes our pastors are our family members.
Oh, yeah.
I can't talk to my family.
Sure.
Or her family members or his family members. And so you can't talk with them. We want you to know that we're not going to laugh in your face.
That's right.
If you're laughing, we're all going to laugh with you.
Yeah.
If you're crying, it may end up where we cry with you. But in the end, we're going to try to help get you back to where you're whole again.
Whole
again.
Praise our God. Amen. All right. So I see a number 4 already in the chat. We appreciate you all so much hanging out with us tonight. You guys rock. Number 4 thing that you may have to deal with, the consequence of cheating, is physically. You may have to endure, you may be dealing with some physicality. When we say that, what do we mean? Listen, you got folks that are out here getting cheated on and getting beaten on. Same time, right? You may be dealing with other risky behaviors. You don't know what them folks is carrying in their genitals.
Yeah.
Men, especially, there's this one particular thing that men get that they don't even realize they have it until a woman tells them that they got it. It's called trichomoniasis. Okay, and it's an easy fix.
It'll trick you.
It'll trick you, and it's an easy fix. It's nothing but some antibiotics that's going to help you.
Oh, you don't have to cut it.
No, you ain't got to cut it unless you. I mean, unless your name Bob it. But it's one of those things that for men it doesn't affect them as bad as it will a woman.
Wow.
And so a woman will end up walking around feeling uncomfortable and not really knowing why they're feeling this way. They'll go to their doctor or think that they've got some sort of yeast thing and try to treat that, and they're still dealing with it. So then they go to the doctor and find out, no, ma'am, you've got this trichomoniasis. And so I have to give you some medication. Not only you, but you need to let the gentleman know that that's what he is probably dealing with underlying, but it's not affecting him in the same way. Here's the problem. When I get it, And I know I ain't been nowhere else.
Yeah. It wasn't a toilet seat.
Okay.
It wasn't that you put on a pair of underwear and somebody,
No, ma'am, sir.
Nobody wore those and put them back into packaging.
No. What has happened is I have contracted something from you, okay? And now I'm dealing with it.
Look, listen, World Wide Web, do not take that little snip. You gotta stop doing that. So if you get it, you got it from your man. That's the way you say that. She ain't got it, I ain't got it.
We ain't got nothing up in here. Amen. Oh my God. I cannot receive.
I've been holding this. We keep it one. just so you know. Because some folks will, what do you call it? Screenshot it. I'm going to just take that little snip right there. Uh-huh. See? I knew it wasn't that saved. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. I digress.
Oh my God. Kimmy just cracking up with it. Oh, okay. I cannot with you, sir. Oh my God. Y'all, I deal with this like all the time. He said something the other day and I just shook my head and kept on. I'm like, I cannot with you. Oh, okay. So some stuff that you end up with is like luggage.
Yeah.
Okay, not that new luggage. I'm talking about that Samsonite. He said I'm already posting the job. Like that old Samsung. Y'all remember that commercial with the gray bag? The silver bag? He'd be up on the bag, throwing it all up in the air and doing all of this. That luggage that never go. You can go right now to your local Salvation Army and find one of those, and they still work tremendously well. All the hardware is still on it, and everything works perfectly. This is the type of STDs that we're dealing with now. Yeah. This is no longer the time of shot in the butt with a penicillin. This is no longer, you have it and go through this course of antibiotics. This is stuff now that you have possibly for the rest of your life or until they come with a cure.
Bad boys for life.
Okay, that part. So we have to be sure that we know that there are some consequences. Sometimes it's substance abuse. Because what we do as human beings is we try to medicate our pains.
Yeah.
Whatever they are, whether it's pills, whether it's sex, whether it's,
that's good.
Illicit behavior. Sometimes it's risky behavior. All of those things we see incorporated in a person that becomes a serial type cheater. Because what y'all, if we ever could only get that we have a God-shaped hole in us, and the Spirit of God is consistently wrestling with us to trying to get us to do the right thing, trying to get it. And so y'all know the little thing with the little devil and the little angel on one side or the other, and one is telling you one thing and the other one is telling you another thing. The issue is that you're in the middle and you got to hear both. Right?
That's right.
And so here we're dealing with this, and we're hearing all of these voices, and we're struggling within ourselves. Well, they're not treating me right. They won't give me none. I want to go and get it where I can get it. Whatever the case may be. But then we have to realize, but I know I'm hurting them if they know that this is what's going on. And I want our relationship, but I just can't continue on the same way. Y'all, there is so much stuff.
That's right.
That when we're dealing with infidelity that comes into play. And if we ever really understood the implications of it all, I think we would have it would lessen the instances and lessen the chances that we deal with it personally, interpersonally. Hey, Juice, how are you, sir?
Juice, love you, man.
All right.
So another area that we see the effect on our relationship, not only mental, physical, but financially. We're not going to talk about that one in any detail. We're always talking about finances here. Yeah. But the final area that we are going to talk with you about is that, okay, that was the last one.
Listen, suicide, mental emotional distress, right?
Biggies.
You're dealing with those things on both,
Mhm.
possibly on both sides.
That's
And
right.
listen, if somebody catches y'all watch World Star Hip Hop. Y'all be seeing, y'all saw
Wow.
the other night when we put Cheaters on and you were able to see two people start fighting. They got caught, but the guy wants to fight with the fiance. What do you want to fight with him for?
Wow.
You need to be talking to that girl. You need to be talking to the person in the relationship with you. But when tempers flare and when
Mhm.
anger is available and ready to explode, listen, you don't care who it is. You go after the object of your
Mhm.
angst. You're
Mhm.
going to go after them full steam ahead. You're going to tell them, just shut up. I don't hear nothing from you. Just get out. And if they say anything back to you in their defense, there could possibly be a physical fight.
Absolutely.
Y'all,
Absolutely.
and some people get really hurt. Some people end up 6 feet under
Mhm.
because they're hurt, right?
That's true.
Because they've been hurt. And so let's do better than what we've been doing.
Mhm.
If
Amen.
you are dealing with infidelity, if you're dealing with a spouse that's cheating, or maybe you are the one that is doing the cheating,
Mhm.
I need you to know that there is help available to you.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely, God is going to come into your corner. As soon as you ask him, that's all he's waiting for is for you
Mhm.
to ask him in, and he will come in, step in, and help you on time. We want you to know that one of the ways that he helps us is through other people.
Yeah.
And we're here every Tuesday through Thursday so that we can help you guys with your relationships. And we do this for free. Now, you may need some, intensive. So what we do is that free encounter session, and you may have to go through a course of counseling to get you back on track. Maybe you want to confront the person, or maybe you want to be able to expose what you've been going
Come
through
on.
and dealing with your spouse, but you don't want to do that by yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't know the implications that's coming behind it. And so we come alongside of you and we make sure that we're able to mediate between the two of you to help you talk this thing out together.
Mhm.
Because I promise you, it hurts no matter
Yeah.
where it comes from, when
How
it
long
comes.
ago it's been.
Yes. All right. So find us at marriagemakes3.com, or you can go to the link bit.ly/MM3 LINKS MM3 links, and there you can get a hold to us. Find some amazing free products there. Some things that we have definitely that you can obtain. It's going to help you invest in yourself. I'm going to ask if there's any questions before we get on down. Brother Robert has asked, he has stated, I thank God for you, Kingdom Warriors. Continue standing in the gap. You're a blessing to many. God's peace and blessing. Good night, sir. Thank you so very much. If there's any questions, I'll give it a few seconds because we know that there's a delay.
Yeah.
Right? Since Friday is creeping with the check day, y'all might need to come on tomorrow. We do have to go on live tomorrow, first Friday in a particular group. We'll see. We'll see. We'll absolutely see, because there definitely is some stuff that happens financially when you're dealing with a cheater. Hey, Kagla.gr, thank you for joining us tonight. All right. Well, I don't see any questions.
Appreciate you all being in here with us tonight. It's been such a pleasure hanging out with you. We've been talking this week and this past week about the
Cheating Chronicles.
Cheating Chronicles. Thank you,
that's the whole week.
And tonight we talked consequences
of cheating.
Check out the replay. This is not going to be up very long, but go ahead and check it out.
Yes.
Share it. It may be that someone that you know and love that needs to hear this. And we want you to know that there is help beyond the cheating.
Yes, absolutely.
There's help beyond that.
Absolutely.
Said that. So
find us on podcast, anchor.fm/GD and me. And you can find it on Spotify. It's on all the other podcast places.
Just ask Siri, ask Spotify, whoever, for Marriage Makes 3.
Hey, what? Pull up.
Yeah.
Yes, and go find some of the awesome stuff that we have available for you all on our page. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Johnson, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're about to get on down, but please check out the replay. We appreciate you all so very much.
Thanks
and
for coming in, guys.
What we always say up in here.
God loves you. and we love you. And ain't a thing you can do about it.
Not up in here.
And here. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Thanks,
All
Maya
right.
S97 for being here.
God bless you guys.